All right, welcome everybody to another kind of exciting day of trading here. So just to give everybody a heads up, I would like everybody to know that I do have a ton of family in town, so it has been doing my best. I was actually working until 6 a.m. last night while everybody was sleeping. Still trying to put in those late night vampire hour streams and updates for all the members, everybody that's out there. Doing my best to keep everybody updated as best that I can. As for what's going on in the world of crypto here, it's been quite an interesting day here over the last 24 hours. If you were watching my stream, you guys will know that we did call the dump right here. So I've done a pretty good job over this last couple of days of calling the moves. So we got the move up, we got the move down. Now we are on this trend line right here. So we're right on the trend line. We're just holding, right? We're just like clutching at straws right here as we try to hold this trend line. This is a rising wedge. This is the lower trend line on this rising wedge as we moved up right here. We're just barely holding on right here. Now, the volume. So you do have, look at this, your bearish volume is pretty stable. I wouldn't say this is bullish divergence right here, but it's slight, very slight hidden bullish divergence, very small. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in this. Now I do see that the volume is totally tanking right here. We do have look, we got 3 hours left. This is a 4 hour chart we're on. This is a whole hour into this candle. Just nothing has happened. We moved sideways. Now, if you want to dig into this, you're just going to see we put up some kind of we definitely put up this this inverted hammer candle, which would have been or should have been bullish. But what this did is this just made a double top right there, right? So you got a double top out of this formation. Let me hold this in here. So on the local 4 hour chart, right? Local 4 hour chart, we have a double top, all right? So we did post up that double top right here with that 2 and the 4 candle. So that's with the green 2 and green 4 candle. Okay, so that now if this is, I would be looking at least to test right back down here, 3,900 with that. So we're going to note that. Let's denote that on our charts, right? So once again, we got a double top. All right. So a DT target would be, so if we had a double top here, the double top target would be, I would say at least right down here to 39, what's that, 39.30. So I would say at least 39.30 would be my double top target, right? So we're going to take that off. So listen, we did get a bounce out of that. So I'll put that on. We did get a very nice bounce. It retraced. Oh, come here, off. So we're going to leave that, take that off. We're going to take this off. Not that. No, you move there. All right, so now if we fall out here, and this is looking mighty weak right here. So the way I see this is you can look at this 2 different ways, okay? You can look at this as you've got this double top that's kind of a confirmation of your fall down, right? Now, you cannot close past this or you're going to violate this wave 5. All right, so you cannot close past. So if this is our wave 1 local, this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. You can't get down and close past this. So if this is a wave 1 of this wave 5, this is a completed wave 1 of 5, right? Here, you can't retrace below, let's just call it, you just can't retrace below 38.71. Otherwise, you're going to be violating everything. Now, you did put in this spinning top style candle. So we posted a inverted hammer. All right. That got blown out. Then we just posted a spinning top, right? And let's it's a spinning top. Now, spinning tops like to call the reversal and or a pending reversal. Okay, but we are posting up a rising wedge here, right? We're going into a bear flag. This is now making a very small bear flag, right? If this is a double top, then the lower target for me is 39. What did I say? 39.30. Okay. You cannot break 38.71. So we're going to pull this back up. Let's see where our vamp fib is. Vamp fib is real low. That's really low there. Uh, 38.80. So, you know, you start to blow this out. You get down that far. You got a hell of a retracement when you get down that far. All right, we're just gonna throw in. That's there. That's your double top. Right, all the way. Look, we retraced all the way down to there. Didn't quite hit the 618, but this double top is worrying. I still think this double top is a little more distance to go here. You got a lot of support at the 236 right here. You got the 618 and the 236. You got a lot of support down here right below you. But a deeper break is going to be the 786. So the deeper break is going to be the. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this, post this. So this would be. So this is going to be the. This is the final support for the bulls of this wave. It's what are we calling that? We're calling that 3870 at 0.786 equals 3870. All right, so that's it right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. So you got the vamp fib down lower. This would definitely act as a support also. Okay. So I'm going to remove this off of here. Okay, I want to try to line all this up. Sorry, I apologize, everybody. Let me just get this baby lined up. Oh, don't do that. Come on, get over. All right. There's that. Squeeze that up just a little more. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of run through our candles. Oh, what do we got here? 6 hour, 3 hours left. Yeah, dying bearish volume. 3 hours left in this 12-hour candle. Still pretty substantial. So our 12-hour candle, let's see what we're posting up here. We got some kind of engulfing 12-hour. Right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so on this right here, we have a bearish harami that's forming right there. So you got a bearish harami. You also have a double top. So you have that bearish harami, and then you have the tweezer top. Right, so there's your tweezer top and the bearish harami. Right, with your support being 3,900, 3,944. And then this would be your wave one right there. There's your 3870 right there. So you violate this. Now, if this does really decide to pull a final retrace here, let's say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was your wave 5 with the double top right there. That would, you'd be looking for a much deeper retrace, your 3600 or something like that. We're going to have to see how this thing plays out right here, okay? I have to watch this as this baby plays out. So let's go up to the daily. I want to take a look at the daily. Ooh. Okay, so when you put in this candle on the daily, this is called a pin bar candle. Okay, so you have a pin bar on the daily. Okay, daily is a pin bar candle. You've got with bearish volume, right? So your volume is completely fallen off there. All right, so your volume's totally taking a dump on you. You're gonna put up a brand new 2-day candle. Now you throw up this hanging man. Okay, so this right here, this pattern right here is called a pin bar fakie. This is an inside bar with a pin bar fakie. Let me pull that up for everybody. Here it is. There it is. So you see you have your long candle, then you have your inside bar candle, then you get the fakie right here. This is a fakie. So this is an inside bar with the pin bar fakie. All right. Okay. All right, let's go out to 3-day. Same thing, 3 days, the same candle, same exact candle. All right, let's look at our weekly. We just finished our weekly. I really want to look at this 3-day. See, here's my issue on this 3-day. I just don't, volume is dying out, right? You still got 2 days left in this volume candle, right? You do have a bullish volume profile on the macro. So look at your macro. Oh, shit. Look at this. What? What? It's Christmas time, everybody. You there?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, look at this. Merry Christmas to everyone. Holy cow, we got the chone in the house. Hey,
Good evening, everybody.
see,
Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
he does
Today?
love me. He does love me. See, I knew that. Hey,
I saw you were
welcome
live.
everybody. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Everybody, we got the man, the myth, and the legend in the house. We got the chone. Welcome, brother. How you doing? How's your Christmas Eve going?
It's nice. I'm sous videing some chicken breasts right now. So I got
Nice.
about an hour
So you hear
to.
that? He's eating some chick's breasts right now. I mean chicken breasts. Sorry, that's a man code right there. So did you open up your Christmas present?
No, saving that one for tomorrow, obviously.
Saving that one for tomorrow. God, all right, dude. God, that's awesome, man. Hey, everybody, we got the chone in the house. Look at that, they're so funny. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend is here. So, dude, we this is our Christmas Eve. I want to say, hey, make sure you tell your whole family. I said, Merry Christmas. And
Thank you very
hope you
much.
guys are having a good Christmas out there. Hope you guys aren't snowed in.
No, it's funny. We had all of our snow like around Halloween for some reason, and then ever since then we've been pretty much bone dry and just chilly. And it looks pretty clear into the new year. So I got the snow blower ready to rock, but so far so good. I haven't really had to use it yet.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, that's good. Good. So, I was just going over the daily candles and taking a look at the volume profile. And one of the things I was talking about is just saying that in my last night, one of the things I posted up, if you can see my chart running right now, is I said
Hmm.
when I looked at this volume profile, this cluster right here of green volume, right? This building looked like a wave three to me. So this looks like
Mm.
a wave three to me, and then this is looking like a wave five or some kind of an E wave here, some kind of a failure wave as it was pushing up. And I said that last night, and then and now we were much higher when I talked about that being a higher failure wave. And sure enough, we started to fall out last night. I'm trying to look at the macro picture here, and I really want to see the macro scale of where I feel. And I'm looking at the 3 day right now. One of the things I'm seeing on the 3 day is this pin bar, this fakey pin bar. So
It just
this
started though. That's the first. This is the first day of the 3 day, right?
first day that it ends in 3 hours. So this is our very first day. So the candle it's putting up is a pin bar fakey, but we are going to close out this 2 day candle today, I believe. I believe this
Mm.
2 day candle, I think, closes out today because this would be the second day of that. I think. I think. I think. I
I
think. I
think it's
think. Because I think it
tomorrow,
changed on
maybe.
Sunday. I think Sunday was the new 2 day candle. I think we posted the 3 day and the 2 day both up on Sunday. So today would be technically Tuesday in 3 hours, right? How can you tell? I can never figure out the damn candle
Oh,
things.
so hold on. The 2 day. No, the 3 day. Hold on here. My computer is really slow right now for some reason. All right, 3 day, 3 day, 3 day. There we go.
2 day, 2 day,
So
2 day,
we.
2 day.
All right, so 2 days. So the 2 day, yeah, tomorrow. So yeah, this is the last day of the 2 day. So we have 3 hours in the two, and we have a day and 3 hours in the three.
In the three. And one of the things I was looking at, if you see, I stretch that baby out like that. I was looking at that saying, it looks like a pin bar fakie to me.
Mm.
So it's a bearish pin bar fakie when you get that pattern right there. And if it closes out like that, so you had the hanging man, right? So you had the bullish candle followed by the hanging man, which should have been bearish,
Hmm.
right? And then this is called a pin bar fakie right here. I've actually got I'll bring it up over. I just put it up in the members area. And I put it up for everybody. So this fakey candle right here is what's getting me because look at the volume on that. Look at the volume on that candle on the newest candle you posted. So if that's going to close out like that, that is bearish on that 2 day candle. So your volume really started to sag. I think a lot of people are taking profits at this point because things have gone just absolutely bananas. And I
Well, we
think we're
got
also getting
that.
to we're getting close to your fibs, your higher fibs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've been trying to target around the $4,400 area. That seems like the most logical area to retest after the strong rejection we had at the end of November. Um, and last night's, I call it last night's, but the bull move of this current daily candle happened in the first like hour or two of the candle. So we basically topped off our day within a couple hours of our day. And then, as you said, as you've seen that, we've seen that profit taking here. And if you notice, we're actually, let me go back to
Well, hold on.
the
Wait
daily
right there
here.
1 second. Wait right there.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want everybody to do is look left. So I want everybody to look to the left side of that exact chart, the price action that he's got. Right? If you throw a line, throw a fib line, not a fib line, but throw a line right there, and I'm gonna say, yeah, exactly. So right where that neckline is, right where the
Yeah.
neckline is. So it's about 4,200. So if you just throw a straight horizontal line, you'll see that we crashed right up into the close of those eggs. Yep, up a little higher, up a little higher. Yeah, right there. Exactly. So what we did is we just came up into that area right there, crashed into those open and closes, that historic resistance. If you look back to the left, you'll see you got that close on that inverted hammer, that number 1 red, or number 7 red. So you got the 7 red to the left. Then you got the first 2 bleeding candles of that 9, the top of them. So you got the top of the green one, and the white one, then the red one. Then you got the wick
Hmm.
through it. So you got a lot of confluence. You came up here, tested the area, just got your hand slapped down a little bit. But if you go to your 3-day, right? Or is it 3-day or weekly? Give me a second here. There you go. Look at that fit. Look at the strength of that MA. Look at the strength of that moving average.
This one here.
Yes. So I have the 7MA as one of mine I've been watching. I've been watching the 7MA, but that just got slapped down by that
Can I
moving
show you
average.
another thing coinciding with the MAs?
Mm-hmm.
Is the daily upper Bollinger
Yes, yes,
that
yes, yes.
has shown that the daily candle can't close above it. And we're seeing that once again with this candle. And I'm trying to compare, let me get rid of my TD for just a moment. My volume is cleaning up. I'm trying to compare what how this daily candle is forming, and then this candle here, where we have this very long upper wick, but we put in a higher high close from the previous day. So it's hard to judge the upper wick of this current daily candle. If we are able to close, I'd say not just above yesterday, which wouldn't be that hard, but at least above the day before. So a close, let's just call it above 4K, is very promising and needed for bullish continuation. That also, we look at our TD, and we're doing a price flip right now. The only way to avoid that is to close above 40.78 there. And so again, we're just hovering in this zone where you got to ask yourself, is there enough emphasis on that last little push to push um, for another $300 before that correction? And this bullish move, I mean, let's face it, a lot of alts are pretty extended at this point. I mean, the bullish deviation between a bunch of these alts and what we've seen with the price of Bitcoin up 35%, alts up 60, 80, over 100, some of 200% on this run here. So it'd be hard to feel that you can buy into this extensions on across the board in crypto after adding 40 billion to the market cap in the past 10 days. It just feels like any extension now is kind of, you're asking for trouble if you want to go longer to the extent that we've been able to travel. And yeah, I mean, that fifth wave extension, have we hit it, or are we going to get one more chance to the 44? I was watching the daily as well, and it was funny. It was this candle right here I really want to emphasize. This was the November 29th candle, and the daily body close happened to be the top of this cycle here, where maybe intraday we hit 44, but our actual close was 42.48, and then our wick today was 42.39. So by $10, we put in a lower low than the closing candle that basically set the top of this short-lived bull move. And that kind of tells me it's a very good there's reason to think that we did it. We just hit our lower low attempt. The bulls put the best shot they could at reversing that and putting in a higher low. But if we can obviously range above 38.50, let's call it, pretty much the low of yesterday's candle, was at $3,900. We have running room to find support and still put that next bullish move up as we've broken bullish and now have supports that used to be resistance levels. And then on higher time frames like the daily, our RSI is getting very close to 60, 59, 60,
Mhm.
which was where we topped off the last time there. And because we're holding above 50, 54, I mean, that's good. All right. I think that's kind of what we want to find, at least for the next chance of a bullish continuation. And even our stochastic shows a little chance for that next double top, that M top it seems to put in every once in a while, like here and here.
Mm-hmm.
So the stage is set for a couple $100 more for sure. But we're also heading into Christmas week. The U.S. stock market is falling off a cliff.
Woo!
Confirmed. I mean, I don't think
Fuck.
you can argue that anymore
Oh
at this
God.
point.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing the word fundamentals and valuation on CNBC, and no one's, at least until now, really trying to talk about. It's not the fundamentals and the valuations. It's the politics of the moment. Let's call it. I
Yeah.
think that are having a major
Oh yeah.
bearish,
Effect on the markets.
emphasis on the price action right now. It's just insane.
All right. So let me just slide past you guys yesterday. So I just kind of want to go over some of the stuff we had yesterday. If everybody, for those people that are out there watching, and listen, it was very. I'm gonna. So here's some of my charts. I'm just gonna breeze through a couple of these really quick. So last night, if yesterday you were watching the show, right, and for those amazing people that have been following me, if you're following me last night, I called a correction. I don't want to say a short, but I called a correction here. Okay. So last night there was multiple reasons why I called a correction last night, and I just want to go over some of those really quick with everybody. Besides the fact, so Joan, did you see I got my hand caught? I got, dude, I got
What's
fucking
that?
my VPN shut off on Max. And I
Oh, no
logged
way.
in without my VPN, and it busted me. And I was like, "Oh!" I was, dude.
United States.
I was. So last night, I was like, I logged in because I was gonna short BCH. So I logged in, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh shit!" This is 5 a.m. this morning. I said, "Oh shit!" I said, "Where's it at?" Right up here. Was it BC? It was BCH. I think it was BCH. Where is it at? I was like, somewhere. Was it BCH I was going to short? I forgot which one I was going to short, and I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. Oh, I was
Mm.
so pissed, dude. So here's my targets for BCH. It was way down here lower. So I had BCH here. I said this is going to go up a little bit. So I shorted this. So I said I would have shorted it, and then we got the long call, and then I would have played the long call. There was the long call. It went up a little bit, and then look at that, all the way down, blew through my lower target on BCH.
Mm.
I was so mad because I couldn't short it because I didn't have Max. I couldn't short it. I was so mad. I got maxed by Arthur. All right, let's go back and take a look. So one of the things I did see last night, I want to go over this with you really quick, but I want to show everybody last night where we were at, and I said, hey, listen, these are the reasons why I think it's going to retrace. So we had this going up. Everybody knows we had this going up a little more. I showed this bullish wedge down. This was a bullish wedge. I said we're going down, but then we're going right back up. Sure enough, peoples. Boom, there it is, down, then right back up, just like Vamp called it. Great job, thank you. Then I said this is a 3, and we're gonna come back down. So I said, nope, looks like a wave 3. We're gonna retrace back down. And then, as everybody knows, we woke up this morning and voila! Vampy do it again, right? So I pulled it off again. But here's the important things I want to go over why and how I was able to do that, right? Let me zip through here really quick. Number one is I felt that with this MACD rolling over, I knew our MACD was going to roll over. Whenever you do touch your MACD line, to your indicator line, you do get a small drop. You know, back in the past when we had more liquidity, we would get bigger drops. But right now we just crossed this. Now this I am going to look for to set up a J hook. I still think this is going to be a J hook. It'll come down just like all these boxes show. A lot of these are J hooks. It hooks back up, and then we will get one little hook back up. I'll show you guys as we go through this. Give me a second. Okay, very interesting. Here is our NVT chart. So we showed you guys this historically back in October 2000. Here your rejection was at the 236. If you take a look, we were way over this 236, and I said watch out because this does not leave a shadow, right? And this can pull back in. And just to show you this, let's go over here and take a look at our NVT chart last night. Where's our NVT chart last night? Nope, 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 nope. Where are you at? Come here, NVT chart. No, where are you at? Come here. Let me find this biatch. Nope. There it is. So if you look at our NVT chart, oh, that's too early. So we had broken over this 236 line right here. We retraced all the way back under it. Now, historically, we didn't break over that 236 on this first real bounce. We actually retraced on this 236. And this was kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies when we broke over it last night. So now we broke back under it. Let me go over to one more chart here. I'm going to go over the CMA. Now, I'd said here is this large-scale trend line. Right? There's the trend line from 2011. Last night we came up, touched that. You see where it got rejected here, support here, rejected here. We tapped that again, got rejected off of it. Now, the longer this moves sideways, even if you pull down a little bit more, you're still going to try to make one more run back up here. But this actually played out perfect. So this is a great rejection area. We got rejected off our RSI. We said that watch out for this warning on the weekly ADX chart. This thing is forecasting possibly a rollback over. So you got to be careful because on your coming up on your weekly, people, on your weekly, you have a death cross coming on your weekly. You've got to be very careful. And why don't I have the 30 on this chart? Where is my 30 MA? Where's my 30 MA on this baby? There it is. You have a death cross. There it is right there. This death cross is coming in just a few days. 6 days to be exact. 5 days. 5 days to be exact. This will be a death cross, and this will knock you back down. We are still, I don't like being this far away. I'd rather this is a little closer, but when you're this far away, it is a little bit weaker, right? So I expect this to be a little bit weaker. We bounced off there. Look at this. Look at the weekly, people. This is very significant. Tap the 200, hit the 7 MA, rejected by the 7 MA. The 130 death cross is right above us. So even if we squirt a little bit higher here over the next coming days, that squirt will get rejected back down, right? This will turn bearish. This ADX chart seems to be telling the future of what's possibly going to happen. Here's our last resistance point. We've pointed this out in the past. Head and shoulders, head and shoulders, head and shoulders. This just died. There's a double top. You can see how each and every one of these things played out, right? And here we are. We're putting, what are we doing right here? I have no idea if this is going to double top, just like Chona's saying. Are we going to double top, which would be very significant, just like Chona's saying, and then get our retrace down? Or are we just going to die? This last time, it just clearly died. Historical volatility chart is saying nothing has actually happened. Longs to shorts, nothing is really happening. Nobody's in danger. And then I've got one more, my Stoke charts, the last one I want to go over. So last night on the Stoke chart, we were all the way up here. We hit the tippy top. This is very significant because this is a bullish TD9. Every time you see the bullish TD9, bullish TD9, bullish TD9, there's some more in here. There's a bullish TD9 right there. This is a bullish TD9 down and up. We did a bullish TD9. This is the last time you retraced here. Now, the last time you did this, You went up this high on a bullish TD9. This thing bounced around and bounced around before it finally died out. This was the head and shoulders pattern that played out historically. Shoulder down, head down, shoulder down. This would be a sloping head and shoulders that finally died out. I don't know if you can count out on this, and we might have to ask Chone, can you count out a sloping head and shoulders on this? Just like we put up in the past. Is this the shoulder down, head down, shoulder down? Because that's what happened the last time we put this pattern in back here. And I can show you how this played out. Let me show you how this worked. So this sloping head and shoulders would be, all right, just come here. And shoulder, head, just like that. So there would be your sloping head and shoulders, and it's hard to see it how it played out there, but you see that sloping head and shoulders? Watch this. There it is again. You don't see it play out on the price action. You see it play out. There it is. You see it play out right here. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Got that? So there is your head and shoulders right there. There's your sloping head and shoulders. There's another head and shoulders right there. This is another failed head. Look, there's your head and shoulders pattern. There's your head and shoulders sloping. And then it died. This one just freaking died. You can't even find a head and shoulders out of this one. But this one right here, I can't tell. Is this going to be a double top or is this just going to die? I don't know, but it's a little harder to pick this out and pull this apart. And look at how high this has to go. If this is only your first shoulder here, this could have a little bit of range on it. This could have some range on it still to get up to that 4,500 range before it died out. That's one of the things I'm most concerned about is how high can this go if it keeps running. This is your very, very last resistance level, right? If this doesn't make a double top right here, if this just doesn't absolutely get rejected right here, we are 100% going higher. All right, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, last thing, and this is really where I need some Chone help from. So I want to go over this with Chone because I asked for help for this last night and I didn't get any.
The CMF?
Need help. I need some help with the CMF.
Can I ask you about that?
Go ahead.
I was going to see if you got an answer that you liked. Because I've been watching the CMF on the daily and how it's been kind of a lackluster reaction to $1,000 price move in Bitcoin. Is this the? No, that's the weekly. So the weekly, okay, is showing a nicer move than the daily was, and the daily's putting in a lower low pattern still with resistance and still very far under our zero line. And our past couple little bullish pops here and there, one in October and September, showed a much easier money flow profile in the CMF. So it's mixed signals in this move. And how much of this move, frankly, is just
wash trading?
Well, I mean, it was a setup move. There was a setup, and I just think about like what crypto Twitter was like, what the market was like 10 days ago when everything was hitting its lows, and blood in the streets, and the end is near, and everything's going to zero, and all we were doing is retesting historical supports on higher time frames. Finding a break of the weekly RSI on the Bitcoin chart proved to be a buying opportunity, and a very similar circumstance than we had back in 2014 when the break of the RSI of the RSI on the weekly happened. Now, the initial break of our RSI on the weekly was not the bottom, and I'm pretty sure intra-week this one was probably under 30, or at least hitting it before it actually closed above 30.3. So everything here suggests a bounce, a top off, and then a rollover to a lower low. And that final lower low in the RSI actually did mark the bottom there, followed by, of course, 10 months of a relative ranging of Bitcoin where the price didn't really move that much until the breakout. So once again, we had a weekly close below our RSI. That caused our nice bounce here. And we see how much running room that's actually allowed our RSI to take over. And, you know, we've seen this situation before where just a bullish, I do not want to install my tomorrow. A bullish move creates a situation where we have allowed our indicators to reset enough just so they can fall that much more on the next, breakdown. I also wanted to just briefly talk about the TD and the weekly. We bottomed back in 2014 on a 6, on a red 6 with a very long candle, bottom candle. And then a couple other times we've actually had bottomed on a 9 with a very clean 9, or a 9 with a little bit of bleed out. We're on the verge, and so we had our price flip here. We're only able to get to a 5 with not much of a wick here. So this move back into our lower Bollinger, it just still feels like this is all just a pattern playing out and not an official market bottoming that I think we probably were looking for on this move. And as you said before about breaking through 4,400 and running, if the volume kind of shows up and creates that scenario, I agree with that because of that kind of window of lackluster price history in that area where we broke so bullish so quickly. That could bring us up to 5,200 rather fast. But everything, I think, is almost the way I'm watching our price action is really our long-term, and I'm in log here, resistance, this green line here, this resistance line here, that has held any kind of a bullish market attempt, restricted it very accurately. And we can see how far below it we are currently, and how much running room that could actually take us to get back up here. And I almost foresee a circumstance where we can either do another bottom touch, but eventually we're going to get back here to retest this line. And then the way to determine, how are we broken out of this bear market is that break, the back test, hold, confirmation, and move ahead. So we're so below it. It allows us to move up and kind of break a very oversold pattern. And the fact that altcoins have run so much more harder, pushing Bitcoin dominance here to almost 50%. It lost 5% of dominance as money flew into Bitcoin, into altcoins at a much faster pace. And that just tells me that it's just a good bounce. It's a great bounce. It's a great bounce, and you're seeing, because all these altcoins were so bearish, that there was running room. But now after I had that up earlier today, so after a few hours, we actually added a full percent to BTC dominance. So we're starting to see that pullback in a lot of the altcoins, that more profit taking if you have been riding these. And this has pumped about 40 billion back into market cap. And Bitcoin's price action has been very good looking, very high volume over the past couple days here. Come on, my computer crashing.
Nope, you're there.
I'm good. So seeing again about $7 billion. These are like summer volumes that we had seen in a very long time. So that's Good to see that. So it shows that there's money here. There's definitely money here. We've had several days in a row of high fives, sixes, eights, sevens, fives, and sixes again. Another day over seven. So the money's there, and the market has been capitalizing on these conditions here. But as you said, we're ranging in an area here where it just gets a little harder and a little harder and a little harder to break through to new levels. And we've given ourselves breathing room. And I really think, 3850 is an area you want to hold. And after that, I mean, we have even room to get as low as 3650, I think, and still hold, a very good bullish chances for that next leg higher. We're still in a bullish pennant here. This upper wick hasn't changed the matters here, that at least short term, the bulls do have control.
Mm-hmm. And
So
that
until our
monthly
pennant,
candle, dude, pull up that monthly candle.
so this is the biggest thing that I think we have to be watching. We have a week left, and this is a battle because right now this can be
Good and
described as a
bad.
bullish
Good and,
reversal.
but look up higher. Make that chart
What's that?
smarter. Keep going
Oh,
down.
it's how far low we have to go.
No. Look at the last time you posted the same candle.
What, this guy here?
February, yeah.
It's interesting. Well, here's the deal. Okay, we were at a hammer, right, when we were at 42 something, 4250.
Which would have been very
So,
bullish.
which
Yeah.
would have been bullish, and we have a week to get there still, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. If we close below
I would say
close
30s.
39.76, so
Yeah.
39.75 makes this a red, super tight bodied, whether you call it a hanging man, similar to this. Remember, this one also closed green as well. So that's a good point. Very similar long upper wicks here. Our volume profile this month it's impressive compared to where we had been. A lot of this it's a mixture. We had some really nasty bearishness and followed by some really good bullishness there.
So Brian is asking, do I think BTC is going back to 3K? Yes, I do. I don't think the bottom is in yet. I don't think we have seen the bottom. Now, I don't know about Chone, but for me personally, we would have to break over 6K. We'd have to get back up into the 6K region for me to be bullish again. Just pulling back up. Our issue that we have, guys, is that we were so oversold on so many indicators. I mean, I have never personally, I haven't been trading that long, of course, but I mean, to see the indicators drop down as far as they did on these monthly timelines, we're not talking weekly. Dude, look at Chone. Chone's on the monthly right now. Show him some of your indicators on the monthly. I mean, they were atrociously low. Look at that.
We put equal lows on our RSI. We were skimming. Our monthly Stoke has been, almost at zero line, and we're trying to compare it from a time perspective. I think is important to how long we were bearish here, even after our bottom of 2015 here. There was a good, let's see, is a good, several hundred days, almost 200 days here that we were still only not that far from our bottom before we hit our second low and then confirmed to go higher. So there's precedent to be after the bottom, still in this very low time period, taking us out until this summer, which would equate a turnaround. And that's what our time horizon is telling us, that our monthly Stoke has been traveling in this bearish tendency here for a little under a year. Now we're approaching a year. And normally it's about 500 days. Well, not normally. If we're just using our 14 as a template here, we can basically find around 500 days that we're in this sub 10 area at least. until we actually have a bull market beginning. And we know what a bull market on our stochastic looks like for sure. You know, this is years of the Stoke, just ranging higher, running rooms, spreading out our indicators. I mean, just ride this thing all the way up. It's amazing. And you see where we are. So it's great in the sense that we know in more or less where we are in terms of the cycle. And this is a cycle. I mean, it's a very clean cycle. We have our bottom, we have our top, we're back to our bottom again. And at some point, we're going to get back out of here and hit a top again in the future. So we have a time horizon. We also have a sense, and again, it's hard to see, you can't see it on the monthly, but there's every bullish parabolic move in Bitcoin takes longer than the last one. So it took a longer time cycle for the 2014 top off, and it took almost 3 years for this one to top off. The one before 2014 took about 2 years. One before that was about 1 year. So we're adding almost a year and a half or so to every cycle in our strive higher. But every time we do that, we're also able to achieve greater exponential growth. That's why it's valid to think that once we're able to get through this move here, that a retest of 20,000 and much higher is a definite possibility. But it could take years here, just based on our overall history here, and our chalk and money flow on our monthly as well. Finding a little support here, but nowhere near as low as we can actually get to mark a bottom. And that's what's kind of scary, is even though we found this temporary support in the 3Ks, and listen, we weren't there that long. We were only in the 3K range for like a week or two. So even though I found the stability there, it doesn't mean it's like a massive bottom. And that kind of answers Brian's question there about can we go lower? The problem is, can we sustain this move we've been able to achieve? Does $3,800 become a value again? Does $3,500 become a value again? If we rose from 3,100 to 4,100 and we're easily able to fall back into the mid 36s, then who's to say that, well, maybe I'll hold up, maybe we'll go lower again? So yes, a retest of the 3K area I think is inevitable. And at that point, could the market say, well, wait a minute, we're back here again. Maybe I'll see if we can bring it lower this time. And the fact that altcoins still have high valuations overall makes me think that we haven't found a bottom yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. So, what do I think is going to happen over the next short term here? Listen, I still think we are going back up. I still think we're going to take one more little run back up, whether it's from here, whether we test lower. I mean, I really don't want to go below this this final support right here. I'll put my little line right there. My chart's starting to get really messy. It's trying to keep this freaking chart clean.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's so hard. Yeah, it's killing me. So I really feel that, right now what I'm looking for is, I mean, we're on the wedge. We kind of held this wedge line. If this runs up, we're looking for our area. Now, once we get up here, okay, once we get up here, no ifs, ands, or buts, right? I am looking to short. I am looking to short from here, right? I will be looking to short up in this range right up here, right? I am. This is what my trade will be. I want to see one more bounce back up here. I want to see this volume continue to die out on these higher time frames and give us one little bounce back up. Even if we drop a little lower here, even if we put in one more little stubby drop and then bounce up, I would be fine with that, right? I would be totally fine with that as a run back up. We got a bunch of bullish candles too. We've posted up. This is a bullish candle. This is a bullish candle. The volume right here, it's really bad. This is really bad volume, right? But it is still a little bit bullish. We're just trading in a low volume environment. The macro trend is bearish. The micro local trend is bullish. We just have dropped off. Now you did get this hidden bearish divergence right here, hidden bullish divergence right here as we did drop down. You saw our step down right here on the ladder on the volume. So, we were looking for a bottom there. Can this have one little more reset and then a test right back down? I still think this looks like a double top right here to me, and I would like to test down one more little bitty time. Just give me one more little bitty time down, maybe a little uppy here and then a little downy here, and then we go up again, okay? So I'm just going to kind of let this baby keep playing out over the next, I don't know, however many hours I want to see this play out, but I still think that this is where I will be looking to short from. Now, this to me, and I don't know about Chone, this to me looks like a fifth wave. This looks like a fifth wave to me. Now, do you ever want to go long on a fifth wave? It is really not a good idea, okay? It is really not a good idea to go long on a fifth wave. So I want to warn everybody about that. It's not very good to go long on a fifth wave. There's not a lot of meat in that. Now, can you scalp this? Yeah, sure you can scalp this, right? But you've got to be very wary when you're playing fifth waves, because fifth waves, they're not very forgiving. You want to play third waves. Third waves are better, they're safer, and that goes both directions. You want to play C waves and you want to play third waves. Those are the best waves to play. It's that simple. Third waves and C waves are the best waves to play. And right now you're playing a low volume wave. If you're playing this at all, you're playing a low volume wave. If you got into this as a short, you just need to be looking at your stop loss set, because in watching for this to play out as a double top right here, you're going to be looking to set your stop loss right here as you march down here. Now you got to be careful you throw up this double top. If I was in a short right here, which I am not, okay, I'm not in a short right here. I would have been last night, but Arthur smacked me down, treated me like a bitch, pulled me out on the corner.
He's
Said,
he's smiling, he's smiling.
he is. He's smiling. You. I feel like he gave me one of those. What's the Jello pudding guy? What's the Jello pudding guy? Come on, what's it?
Cosby?
Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? He smacked me down. So I would be setting my stop loss right over this, probably up in this area, above this bullish. You did have this bullish spinning top right here. I'd have my stop loss if I was in a short set right above this baby, and that if it takes you out, you marched out of this thing in profit, and you could look to play this back up on the fifth wave or a continuation wave down. But I do like this to go down just a little bit more before we go up, but I still think we have one more push up.
Do you think if we don't get that last push up, that we've still achieved a neckline tap of a larger inverse head and shoulders, and we're about to start the right shoulder overall?
Ooh, let's take a look at that.
Because we wanted 44, but we got 42 and change. Is that enough?
So here's my issue with this head and shoulders, this inverted head and shoulders. A lot of people are talking about. I don't like this rounded double bottom right here. To me, this looks more like an A and E bottom, and not really. Now this is rounded, right? This is a rounded head and shoulders. I still think this is a little bit on the shallow side. Right? I still think that's a little bit on the shallow side. I mean, we can throw it in here. Let's just try to throw. Let's go pull another chart. Here we go. We're going to drop this down to 6 hours. All right, we'll pull this down to a 6-hour chart. We'll try to throw a head and shoulders on this thing. 1, 2, there. I mean,
if you look at the June head and shoulders, right, which we agree was an inverted head and shoulders,
much cleaner. Much cleaner.
It is, but
hold on. I'm showing your chart.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
So show them that head and shoulders right there. I mean, it just stands out right in front of me. That inverted head and shoulders.
In the June one here, yeah.
Yeah, that June one.
Well,
The
but we
July.
also
Looks like July. That one
no, it
right there.
was the
Yeah, that's
June
it.
was the head. It filled in July. So the thing was though, even with that, we had a very clean neckline for sure, right at
Very
6,800.
clean. Yeah.
But we had a double bottom head. We had a 1 day here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we came back and almost had a double bottom touch, and then we hit our neckline perfectly.
Perfectly.
And then our right shoulder was pretty perfect as well. It was a little bit lower on the wicks,
That's fine.
and it hit good. And then the extension of that fully, let's call it roughly there, brought us to a full extension and then some. We actually got a little extended on
Mm-hmm.
our full completion of our INS, and that would put something. Let's call, if we've hit our neckline here, something around 5,200, which is
Uh-huh.
basically the bottom wicks here when we initially found that support on our bear break.
Yeah. Now, I think we have to retrace a little lower. Yep, there you go.
Hmm. And this can go 35. This can go 35. I really don't want to go the low,
Yeah.
but this could
So
go.
scoot.
This
There you
could
go.
go
Scoot
35.
that over. Yeah. No, 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 not that one. The right shoulder, the inside dot of the right shoulder. There you go. Scoot that to the right. Scoot it right. No, to the right. No, no. Up, 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 up. Take it up to 4450. 4450, and then slide it to the right. Move it to the right. Keep going 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 right. Stop. Stop. There you go. Yes. There you go. There you go. Now this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm going to show you my chart real quick. I'm going to drag it over on top of Jones' chart. Hold on. Leave that chart there. Okay. So here is my chart. There's Jones' chart. So remember, I'm looking for this 44. This is the 382. You've got two 382s that are parked right here. I don't know which one it is, 4430 or 4500. So if this plays out right here on his chart, what's going to happen is we're getting this little pullback, this little drawdown right here. We're going to draw it down a little bit more, and then we're going to go up to the 44. This is perfect. I like this. Then we're going to go up to 44, 4500, then retrace down. And this will be the real test right here. I think this is the test. I know Chon is saying, I know a lot of people are commenting on the tone base thinks it's going to go up to 5,000. I think
Hmm.
we need to retrace back down, then go to 5,000, because you're talking, we really have not had a retrace here. One of the biggest things we're bouncing off right here is simply because we just had, we're so insanely over sold on our
Sold,
indicators.
yeah.
We needed to bounce. We all needed a bounce, and we all got in. I mean, you saw my trade, guys. You saw I got in at the very bottom of this. There's no doubt about it that we knew this was a bottom of some sort, right? Especially when we get the long call in the 3-day. But I still think we're going down. Then we're going back up to here, and then we're going to retrace back down, and then this is where it'll all be decided right here in this area, this 3600 area, just like this. If this holds, it's going to be great. But I have a feeling this is not going to hold. I have a feeling this is going to break. And if we extend ourselves, if we just keep extending ourselves higher, let's say we go to 47, 4800 here, what's going to happen is we're just going to push ourselves out as an extension. And as you pull your charts back, you get, hold on a second, let me pull it up here. Give me a second. Find this. Nope, 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 nope. Where's that damn chart? There it is. You basically end up with this chart right here. You end up with this pattern. So you're going to put in this little shoulder right here. This is the shoulder we're going to be looking for right here. So this would be, see, what I don't like about this is this clearly had your shoulder down, head down, shoulder. We still haven't created a head or a shoulder here.
Mm.
We haven't created a head or shoulder on this. So this makes me think that this inverted head and shoulders is possibly invalid.
And that it just tops off and rolls over completely.
That we just go ahead, we roll over, we either just die or we go
Yeah.
up and we put maybe this is our first shoulder, then we're down, then we're up for our head, then we're down, then we're up for a shoulder, which is lower than the head, and then we
Mm.
fall off there. I mean, because we have not put a pattern in like we have historically on the true strength index. It's hard not to look at this chart and not see these patterns. Now, can you just roll over and die? Yeah, you can roll over and die. Do I think we're going to roll over and die right here? Not at this point. Do I think we could go up a little higher and roll over and die? Of course I do. But once you break over this historical line, this resistance line right here, you really have running room. There's
Yeah.
nothing, you got running room, right? You just got a little rejected off it. You got a little hand slap, but this doesn't mean I don't like this pattern playing out right here. Now let's go back and look at the head and shoulders. Move yours over, slide yours over to the other head and shoulders. Inverted one. Slide your chart over the other head and shoulders. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Where was this one? This was June and July. Okay, now here's your June and July. Here's your inverted head and shoulders here, right? So look, I can do that. Watch this. Shoulder, head. There it is. There you go. See, you can actually draw out the head and shoulders. Now, is it perfect? No, but you can see the head and the inverted head and shoulders here. Can you see the inverted head and shoulders over here? Let's go over here and look. Right? There would be the, yeah, no. See, this would be your inverted head. So there would be your shoulder, head. Yeah, see, that would be your shoulder. That would be your head. This, to me, when I look at this, this is a no-brainer, right? Can anybody tell me what this looks like? Anybody at all? Anybody at all? What does this pattern look like right here? Not chum. Come on, we got 300 people watching. 307. What does this look like right here? Anybody?
What are you
300 people
pointing to
watching.
specifically?
This right
What are you
here
pointing to
in the
specifically?
red box. In the red box right here. What does that look like? Anybody? It looks like a double bottom. Right? That's a double bottom. So the chart played out as a double bottom on this, which is very clear, right? Yes, thank you all very much. That is a double bottom right here. So what we posted up right here was a double bottom. You just couldn't see it on the price action where it was clear as day on the WMA TSI chart. So your TSI chart said, whoa, hold on, this is a double bottom. When your price action, you couldn't truly see that play out on the price action. And then when you got the double bottom, where anybody, really quick here, if this is your double bottom, where is your price action target on your double bottom? If this was your double bottom, where's your price action target? Come on, somebody. 300 people watching. Pointy nipples. Yeah. There's definitely a target, okay? But your price action target on a double bottom would be right there. Right? This would be your price action. This would be your target because here is your bottom, up, bottom, straight back to 44.23. This would be your double bottom target. I'll make this red so people are not confused. If I can find my little tool. Where's my tool? There's my tool. So we're going to type in double bottom target. Oh, target. That's it, target. Target. Okay. Now, what is convenient about this double bottom target is that you can go just like this And boy, is that freaking convenient as all get out if your double bottom target equaled the 0.382, which equaled 44 20-ish. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. I hate that when it does that. 44.20-ish. Got it? So there that is. I don't know how I got over to 20 hours over here. I don't know how I got a 20-hour chart. What was that? I was at a 12-hour chart. I was on a daily chart? Daily. There we go. Daily. Okay. So, does everybody agree with that? I mean, you don't have to agree. I'm just saying. But that's what that looks like to me. Now, in order to, I feel that this pattern has a hard time playing out as an inverse head and shoulder. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go look at what would be the probability and what happens when a double target plays, when a double top plays out. Chon, what happens when a double top plays out?
After a double bottom, you mean?
After a double bottom, what happens after the double top target plays out? I don't really know that.
Mm.
I don't know that. You got to help me out on that. What the hell happens?
Well, I think what the hell
Does it
happens
retrace?
is
Is it a full retrace? I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know the question to that. How much is the retrace once you hit the top of a double top or a double bottom?
I think we're going to see what kind of sense the market feels a $4,000 Bitcoin, what kind of foundation that represents. You know how many times that we've been watching the windows, the gaps in the VPVR, and how this bearish break had filled, you know, a lot of those openings, allowing the bearishness to kind of fall and find that initial support it's found so far in the 3K area. I think it's interesting too to let's just, you know, if we play this HNS, this inverse HNS out, how it a completion of it literally puts us right to our resistance line.
Yep.
And also is a 618 extension back up of where you could argue this trend happened. Here was, I mean, it's this topping and this topping were two different things here. The way this one just collapsed one day, we're going straight up. The next day, I mean, this took like a, what I call it, and stairs up and the elevator down. You know, stairs up and the elevator down. And then we just took the elevator down and the elevator up. And the bleed, I almost feel, I mean, I'd be surprised if we just collapse super quickly. But if we keep rising in this wedge right now that we have here in Bitcoin, and even on a, let me just clean this up a little bit here. Even on, let me go to, I got my 4 up. You know, we're beginning to put in that riser here that we want to watch. Boom. So is this our fifth wave ending diagonal, if you will, that can take us as high as 4,400 as long as we hold our lower supports and then crash through? I'm also been watching my cloud and how when we were able to close within our Kumo here on our first 4-hour candle in weeks, have that initial break, back test, resistance, and then the retest on this candle that held. We've been riding the Tenkin basically all the way up here. And we have support, even if we break bearish, because of our bull Kumo twist, you know, down to the $3,600 area. So this plays out for something like a break, maybe one more tap up here, and then a break, and then we start to flirt around in this area here to reestablish support. And all that coincides. I think a lot of it has to do with this area here, which found initial support on our first bottoming attempt, 35.36. We break extra bearish, we get above it, and that's the area to hold. So much of continuation, no matter what happens in the next couple days, has to do with holding, I think, from, we really specify this here, goes all the way down to here. So as low as 34.50 and as high as 37.50. This is such an important range extended here, coincides perfectly with new cloud support. And I'm sure if I brought up my Bollingers, well, that's too close of a time frame, but that's it. If we hold 36.50, even with that kind of a pullback, which would be almost another 10% pullback from where we currently are, that would be that would be enough. That would definitely be enough. But it's really the interaction, the next phase at 3,600, because we're just going back there. Maybe we don't. Maybe we get up to the 44 first, but this is where the test is to see if this is an uptrend and if we can actually establish a higher low. And then last chart, real quick here. Bitcoin futures. Again, I'm really into using my cloud recently on the 4-hour. Look at that resistance there, right there. I don't know what the market, I think it's open through Christmas. I don't know, probably not, maybe. So I'm not entirely sure. It says it's still open, so I'm not sure how this reacts, if it's open through the week and closes on its normal Friday night or not. But it's heading that initial resistance there. But there's also two gaps. That's still up here to 43.83
Yep.
on the upside. And then the low side gap at 35.40, 35.35. So both of those on the 4-hour, which I think is notable. There are lower gaps on the hourly. There is no gap here on the 4-hour at 31.50, but there is one on the hourly down here. And there's a lot more on the hourly up and down. But to have two on the 4-hour, and we've had circumstances where we have weeks where the gaps are open on the 4-hour. But we're already a month into this gap still being open. So there's that one more push just to 44 something would close that gap and give more of a sense of a neckline and a better sense that this move is over for the time being. But we're talking about a couple more percent up. And just lastly here, altcoins have told us the story. Remember, was it like 2 weeks ago we saw Bitcoin Cash SV pump hard,
Whew,
and they're like,
man.
"Wow, that's something there, right?" And then Litecoin pumped the day before Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin pumped, and everything was off to the races. Then yesterday we saw Ethereum take a big step forward from 120 to 140 before Bitcoin had its last move. So if we still can see popping alts, if you will, then you can see that next step higher. We're holding still. We're holding even with this bullish push here, and even with little pullbacks, we're still holding very nice areas. So we can lose. We've ran 30 to 70% across the board on some of our higher cap coins. We can afford to pull back 20 or 30% on a lot of those and still hold the uptrend and set ourselves up for that one last push higher. But now it just becomes a whole risk versus reward entry point. And that's where we're at, heading into Christmas
Very nice.
and New Year's.
All right, everybody.
Oh, and I one more
Go
thing.
for it.
I just thought of this before I like last thing I want to say. I was looking at the yearly chart just because we are going to
shit.
look at our year end chart, something that I've never actually, well, I guess last year, but it's fun to kind of just have a sense of the year in review, if you will. A little bit of a dark shadow here, right? But it's flagging, so let's just call that as it is,
It's
right?
flagging. Yeah.
I know we're
What is
flagging here on
that?
our yearly,
What is that?
but
Is that an
we
inside
definitely
bar?
it's an inside bar flag with a slight dark shadow. And there's no other indicators. All our other indicators are super blank. I did a fun thing. It was I found the MA that works, the only MA Was it the BLX that had it? I think. Oh yeah, actually it was BLX, but no, I was back to
Whew,
yeah. Here's
that's a
Stamp.
bearish harami.
This guy here. This is
Yeah,
Stamp. So this brings us back to 2012, and
that's a
we had
bearish
found
harami.
support on the 5-day. Yeah, we're finding support on the 5-year MA. Oops, there we go.
What's the 3-year?
So here's our 5, and it was the 4, I think, as low as it got to where we no 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we bottomed at the 7-year MA,
Ah,
and that's where we found support so far.
wow, very interesting.
And as traders, we always like to use the 7-year MA for our short-term moves here. I mean, actually, we really didn't. The 7-year MA is at 29.14. So we're closing in on the 7-year moving average. But yeah, I think, as we close the year out, I think this chart gives all of us kind of a little bit of a perspective to see kind of, and really even the BLX gives me, yeah. I mean, this is the BLX. I mean, look at that. Look at that run of Bitcoin there. It's just unbelievable. And this is only our second year. It's only a second year in the entire history of Bitcoin that it's a red year. And we see what happened the last time when we had our third year. It started very bearish, right? We had a very nasty red candle, but we closed the year strong.
Bullish.
And that's a
bullish,
great narrative for this year, right? We go lower, right? And then we put in a good looking bottom wick to close out the year strong. And then we just pull back a little bit with some profit taking in December of 2019. And I can see that happening. That'd be a good story.
Yeah.
But because of this history we're looking at here, this sets the table to put in lower lows from where we've been able to establish support up to this point here.
Yeah. So just that is, and we'll show you people. There you go. So there's a comparison right there. So this is a bearish harami that the yearly just made. So there's your bearish harami. Now, also very interesting. Do me a favor, throw me a trend line on those lower wicks right there. These ones right here.
Yep, I have a lot of crap here. Hold on a second. Let me do. There we go. Trend line.
No,
Like that?
no. On the 3 tight ones. The last 3 years.
Oh.
No,
That?
no. Yeah, no. Trend line from the 2000.
Gotcha.
There you go. 2000. Yes. Just right in the bottom of those wicks. Got it. Okay. Just seeing where is
And
that.
then, so next year, right? That would go as low as 2,800 if we were going to.
See? Yeah.
If we're going to 20. If we're going to keep that up, that's interesting.
Is that
is
log? Yeah,
interesting.
you're
And
log too.
yeah, I wonder, there's an interesting channel here too. I see.
Yeah, really interesting channel.
Oh, because I'm log. Hold on. Does
No,
linear make a difference?
No, it's because you're such a high time frame. You have to redo it. But you were just such a crazy time frame. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
I pull too much. Yeah. Right. So I have to go this way, I guess.
Yeah, so you have to actually start it on there. Otherwise, yeah, there you go.
It
Yeah,
doesn't want to
it's
do it.
just it's such a high time frame. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah,
can't,
and the log, yeah.
You
But
just
yeah,
have to
all right.
draw a
Let
trend
me.
line. Just draw a
Yeah,
top and bottom trend
yeah,
line is all you got to
yeah.
do.
I hear you.
I'm gonna
So
snap that
that's
bitch too.
that.
I'm snapping that. Just
Let's
telling you.
go purple. And then really it's so it's almost it's funny, it's almost a rising wedge if we did that.
But I would go with those
Let me come,
bottom three.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it as a channel better. It's playing out very
So
nicely.
yeah, there's our channel.
So then take a horizontal line and just drop it at the bottom of that channel in 2019.
Look right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, down a little bit. Just put it right on that lower trend line.
Oh, I
And
see what you're saying right here.
down. You got to be down lower, lower.
Well, if you look at where the middle is on the cursor,
Yeah,
isn't it
where's it?
here?
Oh, is that where it's at? I can't tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your chart. Yeah,
So it's actually a little higher. It's like right there. Yeah, it's like $2,800.
yeah.
You can't tell it's lower than this, but yeah, it's around 2,800. Um,
I'm snipping that. I'm snipping that.
and then I mean, let's just say we were able to hold that for some reason and do something like this and slowly rise and slowly rise. Then our upper channel in 2023 is at $192,000. That sound good?
Yep.
$67,000. I mean, yeah, that's our bull channel. But we can see that our angle over the years, our slope has diminished. We had a much steeper angle earlier in life.
Yep.
And then we've whoa, there's my
So that's
log
what
issue.
happens when you get in those high time frames. You just can't use it. It wants to jump a whole year. The problem is it's just trying to jump years at a time on that
Yeah.
indicator.
But look at, so here's our angle, very steep, and then we kind of chill out here. Now let's just say I pull my channel a little bit lower, and now we're into more of a prolonged still rising, but maybe this is more something
So do me
like
a
this
favor, throw a
angle
fib
here.
on that. Throw a fib on that thing. Just throw a fib on the whole thing.
Yeah, hold on a second. So yeah, so the 84, we touch right at 84% pullback. Now the 84, actually no, hold on, right there. 1 cent. And this has to go to 19.8. Okay. That's as close as I can get it. Wow, right at the 84% overall. And the reason I happen to have 84 on here is that was actually where we had bottomed back in 2011, I think. It actually looks like we went a little bit lower. We broke it. So more like 85, 86% historic. And 93 was as low as we've ever pulled back from an all-time high. And that would put Bitcoin a little above our all-time high of 2013, which is really where I want to bottom. I really want to bottom a couple $100 higher than our 2013 top off. That would be, from a pure chart perspective, just an amazing bottoming of Bitcoin and a chance for it to just run and rip into new all-time highs after that area. And we are not going to know when Bitcoin is bottom. You did not know this was the bottom until honestly a year later, months later, half a year later. So when we actually bottom, whatever number, whatever day that is, we're just not going to know until we're thousands of dollars away from it and on a completely different trend trajectory.
So what they're saying is that'd be $1,200, 1390. They're looking
Yeah,
at your chart saying the bottom would be 1390.
1392, and that's because it makes if you see
Well, look at where
there's
the historic support is. Drop a line on that for historic support. So look at your historic support. No, no, no. Just go over and grab a horizontal line. Go grab, yep, go grab a horizontal, and then right where the closing and opening is.
Here.
Yep, yep, one there.
It's $1,000. I mean, it's 1,000 to the top here, about 1,150.
That is your heaviest support you got.
Oh yeah, and that still keeps the uptrend intact. If we break for some crazy reason, if Bitcoin breaks below 1177, which was our 2013 bull market high, then that breaks the market. That basically can set lower lows. And the only way Bitcoin continues its parabola here is it can go as low as, 1,300 bucks or so.
Mm-hmm.
And that would put us another 50% drop from more or less where we are. And hell yeah, I think that's possible. Absolutely. And I think we would see baby bull Jesus if we got down to those levels.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think, this is the wick that tells us we have a bottom. Um, uh, Other move, like, it's so hard to judge Bitcoin under $100. Let's just say, this is such a very thin market here. Manipulation and extremely low money flow. This market was really been defined by the price action from $300 to $1,300. It's because we have 4 years of price history that sets that foundation that we want for Bitcoin, which means anything from where we are now to getting in that area is kind of open season until we can find a bottom.
Yep. Yeah, I listen. The way I look at it is, I don't like to talk about those levels. I like to take baby steps, right? I like to take baby steps, and get us from one heavy support or resistance to the next, and that's really kind of the best way I trade. As a swing trader, you guys see that I like to swing trade. As good as I can from the top to the good as I can from the bottom, and back up and back down. So it's irrelevant to me what the actual number is of Bitcoin. So it's kind of irrelevant to me of the price of Bitcoin until we would break that $1,000 level. At breaking the $1,000 level, I feel like that at that point it would become very relevant. And for me, I just think until something like that happens, I'm still very, very bullish on Bitcoin. And I even think, a breakdown, I'm still looking for that 2000 area, which I think is coming, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
it's coming. I don't, looking at my chart over here, I don't, I don't see that. Someone was asking me the other day, hey, what do you feel? Do you think we hit the bottom? I mean, of course we hit a freaking bottom. We know that
Mm-hmm.
we hit the 200 MA. There's
Mm-hmm.
no one that can argue that point. No one can say, listen, we hit a very solid support. We were watching for that solid support. The other thing is, I mean, we hit a clear bottom on the weekly ADX chart, right? Where's my weekly ADX chart? There's my daily. All right, where the hell's that weekly at? Come here, weekly. Let me go find the weekly. There's my Stoke. It's got to be over here somewhere. Oh, here it is right
Are you
here. It's,
are you surprised that the overall, or I guess, are you seeing any divergence, do you feel, between the U.S. equities, the world economy? Do you see any sense of a crazy Bitcoin flight to safety sense? The world is falling apart in this move, or is that completely just
uh,
not related?
so for me, the only thing I really see with what happened here is I feel that I look at China as the true catalyst for us. I'm not looking at America's economy as the catalyst for Bitcoin because I don't think it is. I think the catalyst for Bitcoin is the Chinese economy. And we can take a look at that real quick because you guys know that I mean the market's completely tanking as we all know. But you pull up the Chinese economy, right? We're going to load a new chart here. What's the Shanghai, what Shanghai, there's Shanghai Composite. I
Uh,
got it right here. So let's go over and take a look at the Shanghai index and see what we've got today. Okay, so this is my targets. These are all my notes right here. And like we're not as weak as the US economy here, but the Chinese economy as a whole, and these are my notes here. I said we would see a pump in crypto from the Chinese economic slowdown in the first quarter of next year. There's no need. The Chinese are not panicking right now because they haven't broken their lowest low, right? This is completely different than the US stock exchange, right? The US stock market, like we're up here. You can't even compare the two of us. The US stock market is like right here, right? This is where we're at. This is where the Chinese stock market is. It's back here looking at this support level down here, right? It's hitting this lower support down here, but I still think this is where all the support for the Chinese economy is, down here. This is where you've got a lot of support down here. And this is where you're about to break this previous low. And I still think we're going to head down here. But I think what's going to happen is there's two things going on right now, right? There's two things going on right now in the economy. Number one is that you've basically got a full blown Chinese economy that's buying up gold, which is really weird, right? So the Chinese economy is buying the crap out of gold right now, right? They're buying the living bejesus out of gold, which is just crazy. Okay, so with that happening right now, the gold prices are going back up, and one of the things I feel is going to happen here in the next, however long we've got, out here in this market, is I feel that we've got two things with the debt crisis. We've got a debt crisis in both countries, China and the US. We've got a debt crisis going on in Brazil. We've got a debt crisis going on in EU, right? In the EU. And the bubble that's going to burst, there's really two ways to go with this. One, you're going to start to hedge. You're going to start to hedge dollars to gold. So you're going to move everything to the gold standard. So your currency is going to have to be backed up by gold, right? You're going to have to be backed up by gold to stabilize your currency. And the second thing that you're going to be looking at also is that you're going to be looking at the economy to, or you're going to look at a massive deflation, a currency deflation, a devaluation of all the currencies around the world, and that's basically gonna just take a huge dump. Yes, you're Duncan boy, you're right. The money's old to the Iron Bank. That's actually true, right?
yeah, and so much of the market strength is just faith in the institution itself. And when the Federal Reserve is being attacked in the way it is, that's like the last thing the market wants to see. I just think this shortened day of price action we had in the Dow, and I mean, wow, it was just get me the heck out of this thing. Um, Unprecedented in December since the Great Depression. I mean, this and then this, I feel like it just came out of nowhere. I mean,
Yes. Yep.
October everything was fine, and now it's just like, wow, we really dropped 7,000 points in the Dow. We were at 8,500 in Nasdaq, and now we're almost in the fives again.
Yep.
So you're right. It's just amazing how far we've come down, and as you said, the Shanghai is much lower, and
Yeah.
the
And if
Dow could be going there.
Yeah, and the Dow can definitely be going there. But if you look at the currencies, so you take a look at the currencies, so you're looking at the RMB versus the US dollar here, right? So the US dollar keeps gaining strength. And the reason the US dollar keeps gaining strength is because every single currency in the entire world is taking a giant poo poo, right? They're all taking a huge poo poo. Look, all you got to do is just pull up your charts, right? So if you want to compare, so let's just add some compares here, right? So let's do what is it? Let's do the euro, right? Euro. So the euro to USD. right? So we'll put that on there. I think it's this one, right? I'm glad we have peak here, so peak can help out. So euro to USD, we'll just throw this on here as a line. I want to throw this on here as a line. And then what color will we do? What color are we gonna do for the English? The bloody English. What color should we do for the English? We'll do red, right? For, the English. What color for the English, guys? You tell me. Chone, what color should the English be?
Bloody
Royalty.
red, right on,
Purple.
right?
How about purple? Purple, right? We'll do them
Purple's good.
purple. Purple for the English, for the queen, right? For the bloody queen. So you see there's that. All right, now let's add one more. Let's add a compare. What's another big stable of current? The pound, right? GB, what is it? What's the GB? What's the pound?
GB.
Peak, what's the pound? What's the pound? I need the pound. Anybody? It's the pound. What the hell's the pound? All right, we're pulling up our forex chart.
GBP USD.
GBP USD.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, sorry. So this would be the euro, right? So the first one I did was the euro. So we're gonna do the English, the purple one. Do it as a line. We'll do it as purple. We'll bring that all the way down. Okay, then this is the euro. So the euro we're gonna do yellow. So the euro's yellow. Okay. And then the Chinese, we already see the Chinese one is falling out. Now, what's another currency? What's another big currency?
The yuan.
I've already
Or
got it. I've
the
already got that. The Brazilian. What's the Brazilian? What's the Brazilian dollar? What's the Brazilian dollar? Come on, guys. Is the real, right? It's the real. Is the real? Ah, the rupee. That's good. That's a good one. Aussie
Brazilian is
dollar. The
BRL.
Aussie dollar. Let's do the Aussie dollar.
AUS.
There we go. All right. What color are we going to make the Aussies? Let's make the Aussies yellow because they piss yellow because they drink so much beer. Okay, we're going to make them orange, right? We're going to make them the color of beer. So the Aussies are the color of beer. Okay. So now, as you see, look at all these world currencies dying off, right? Real, USDT, TRY, Japanese yen, Bob. Good one, man. That's a good one. Let's pull up the yen. All right, yen, USD. Oh, nope, compare. Oh, how come I couldn't find the yen? What's the yen, guys? JPY, JPY, JPY. USD. There it is. Okay, Japanese. We'll make them a line and we'll make them, I don't know, what color should the Japanese be? Kind of red, right? Dark red. All right. So as you look at all of these world economies and all these world currencies, you can see, look at the trend that you have. This is the trend all over the world, and this is one of the things I like to talk about, is this is the US dollar right here. The US dollar is freaking, everybody is hedging their money into US dollars and gold right now. All right, so all these countries, this is the world. This is the world currency. World currency. Damn it. All right, and this is the USA. This is the dollar. Okay, so the problem here that you're seeing is while all the rest of the world is being dragged down, and I'm going to make a very significant point here, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to a line because I don't care if it's like this. I'm going to change the US dollar. I want to change this. I don't want this like that. I want this as a line. Give me a line. Give me a line. Why is it doing that? Shoot. Candles. I don't want candles. All right, never mind. Okay, so we're going to leave it like it is. So this is the US dollar here. So I want to very specifically go back and have everybody look back here in 2007. Here is 2007 right here. We're going to just grab 2007, 2008. Here's big picture, right? Here's big picture, right? Very significant. Look who this guy is down here, right? Right? Look at this, right? Look who's down here. Look who this moron is down here. Who is this? It's the US dollar, right? There's the US dollar all the way down here, right? In the freaking tank. And look where all the rest of the world economies are. Look at look at every single person. Dude, every single country's dollar was higher than ours, right? And then we dragged as we moved into 2009. We had a balance because the US economy started to boom back. And a lot of the other world economies, right, were slowly. So people were freaking out of the US dollar during the financial crash right here. Look at this thing just plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. And look at all the world currencies going through the roof. Well, this right here is called cheating, right? This is called cheating right here, is what this is. So the US government, right? We always talk about Chinese manipulating their economies. Dude, that's a freaking crock of crap. We always talk about the Russians meddling in elections, right? Well, that's a crock of crap. The US is the biggest hypocrite in the entire world. We meddle in elections. We totally manipulate our own currency. We're just a bunch of freaking donkeys over here, right? We do not play fair. We are like the worst country in the world. We're the most hypocritical country in the entire world out there, calling everybody out for the shit that we do every single damn day. Right? And that's printing money. Very good, Duncan Boy. That's right. We printed a ton of money. But the problem is when we printed all this money, we couldn't give it away to anybody because we had two hands. So imagine you've got two hands and you can't control either one of them. So you've got one hand, which is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the one who makes monetary policy. They are not controlled by Congress. They are not controlled by government. They are completely 100% not allowed to be controlled by government, right? So what happened was the U.S. economy, the U.S. Federal Reserve said, hey, we're going to take billions and trillions of dollars and we're going to give it to these bankers. So they gave it all to the banks. And then they said, hey, you guys, give it all out. We need you guys to borrow this money to supercharge the economy, to get the economy back online. Well, then you've got the second hand, right? And this is the second hand. This is the hand of government. Well, the hand of government came along, and they're a bunch of freaking absolute morons, because if there's anybody out there that thinks any politicians in the world are good for anything other than absolute dumpster diving, right? Anything other than dumpster diving, you guys are on a whole new level, because politicians are the lowest of low forms out there ever, right? They're just absolute scumbags. I don't care. Listen, I am a staunch capitalist. I love capitalism. I believe every single one of you guys that works your ass off and is sitting here watching this stream right now deserves to make money. Not only do you deserve to make money, you deserve to keep your money that you make, right? That's how it should be. That's how the whole world should be. The issue is we have governments that are absolute retards, right? And the governments who are retards, what they did in 2007, 2008, the government passed all these laws. So the Federal Reserve gave the money to the banks and said, here, oh shit, panic time, give this money out because we need to repump start the economy. And the smartest way to spend money is A, give it to the private sector and let them spend it, or B, give it to the government and let it spend it. Who is going to spend money wiser? Can I please get one or two people out there? Who spends your money wiser, the private sector or the government? Joan?
Well, listen, private sector definitely has a better sense of the heartbeat of the economy. Quicker than the government does.
That's right. The private sector likes to make money. People who work in the US government don't fucking care. It's not their money. It's everybody else's money, right? So what happened was the banks tried to give the money away to the private sector, right? I'm sorry, the Federal Reserve gave the money to the banks. They went to the banks and said, give this to the private sector so we can kickstart this economy, so we can get out of this recession as quickly as possible. Well, along comes the U.S. government and the politicians. And the U.S. government and the politicians were very angry, and they said, you banks are so bad. You're idiots. You don't know how to borrow money. You don't know how to give money to people. You're just a bunch of freaking morons. And yes, we all agree banks are absolute morons, right? And is our system perfect? No. That's why we have Bitcoin today. Bitcoin's a great example of why we shouldn't trust banks, right? And why we should have Bitcoin, right? And why we should have this new ecosystem that we have. Because then the banks all of a sudden were told by the Federal Reserve to give the money away. Well, then the government came along, the government passed all these laws that said, hey, you don't know how to give money away, so we're going to tell you how to give money away. You have to do this, 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 and this, and this, and all these things, and people have to jump through all these hoops. Now, no one could get any money at all. So you had trillions of dollars that were given to the banks. The banks just held on to this money. They couldn't give it away. They then returned the money with the Fed policy. How this works is if you return the money within a specific time allotment, Google this shit. You'll blow your fucking mind. If you as a bank take in trillions of dollars from the US government and you give it back in a specific amount of time, you are rewarded for borrowing that money out into the economy to help spur the economy. Well, it's like 1.3%. It's a very minimal amount. It's not a lot. But you do the math on $3 trillion. What's 1.3% on $1 trillion? Everybody's like, how did these big bankers get all these bonuses? This is the stupidest thing ever. How did they get these huge bonuses in 2008 and 2009? It's because all they had to do was take the money that was given them by the Fed, and they just gave it back. And they got to keep 1.35% of $3 trillion. So all of a sudden, these banks made $100 million. This CEO sitting at the top is like, well, shit, I just made $100 million for the company doing absolutely nothing with no risk to the banks because I couldn't borrow money because the government told me I couldn't borrow the money because I'm not smart enough to borrow the money. So that's why these guys got record bonuses in 2008 and 2009. People didn't understand how did they get these with the banks crashing. It was not that they made money. It was that they were given money from the U.S. taxpayer for that, just holding that capital. So the issue we have today is that we have the capital in the United States. And look at the currency. Look at the US dollar right now. The US dollar is going up. The rest of the world currencies are dropping right now. This is completely the absolute inverse of what happened in 2007. In 2007, it was the United States government that messed up the entire world. We did it single-handedly. We didn't need any help from anybody. We just did it all on our own. We completely tanked the entire world economy all by our little lonesomes because we were greedy and we got greedy and we started just giving money. Woohoo! It was like Oprah. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody gets a car, right? I mean, we're literally like the Oprah Winfrey Show for like 4 years running. It was just crazy. Everybody was printing money. Everybody was handing money out. They were literally my dog. I could have sent my dog. I could have got a birth certificate for my dog. I could have gone down to the bank. I could have bought a condo in my dog's name, right, with fake documents. It would have been easy. It would have been hilarious. I'm not sure I would have been the first one to do it. I didn't do it, but I'm just letting you know you could have done it. Now, this time, things are different. This time, things are totally different. What's happening now is the world economy is crashing. And the world economy is dragging down the whole world. It's not the U.S. The U.S. right now is actually stable. Economically, we're stable. Right? We have the repatriation of trillions and trillions of dollars coming back into the country. We're cutting spending like crazy. We're not paying for the UN. We're not paying all this extra money out. We're just cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. For the first time ever, we're actually dialing back. A lot of the money that we are spending, though, right now is going out into projects, which is going to end up soon. We're going to run out of money here really quickly. We just can't keep dumping money into infrastructure here. It's gonna run out. You just can't keep doing it. But the issue we have right now, what's that?
Yeah, I know. I hear you, man. Listen, I got to take off. I got to check on.
Dude, I get it. Thank you so much for being here, Chone. Dude, I really appreciate that, brother. Thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
much.
Thank you,
Hey,
everybody.
have a Merry Christmas.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm just going to finish up this little rant real quick and then I'll let everybody get on their way. So now the final stroke, kind of, we're in the last run here, right? We're in the final run here. And our challenge is that what we're trying to do in the US economy is we're trying to lower the strength of our dollar. We're trying to drag down the strength of our dollar. We have been trying to do it. See, it got too high. We're trying to pull it back. But what happened was the world economies and the world, they're all screwed. Brazil is screwed. Dude, Brazil is in a world of hurt. Italy is on the brink. Greece has still never really rebounded. France is literally on the brink right now. You've got all these major economies, and then you go to the secondary economies, right? You go and you look at these secondary and tertiary economies like Iran. Look at Iran, Saudi Arabia. Both of these guys are just absolutely taking it in the shorts, right? Iran needs that money from the oil. Saudi Arabia needs that money from the oil. And that's all drying up because the US is now pumping our own oil. So we're screwing the rest of the world just by doing that. But we have to do that because otherwise the oil is going to be worth zero. Let me ask you a real quick question here, right? One real quick question. How many cars on the world in the world today? How many cars are either electric or hybrid? What's the percentage? Anybody? Anybody know? What is the percentage of hybrid or electric cars in the world? It's low. That's right. That's right. It's less than 5%. Yeah, it's probably down 1 to 2%. Okay? Do you all realize that within the next 20 years, what the percentage of electric or hybrid cars will be within the next 20 years? Do you have any idea of how many cars on the road? What percentage? They are predicting right now, they are predicting 30% of the cars that are out there within the next 20 years. 30% of the cars minimum will be either pure electric or electric hybrid, with another 25% that are going to be at least hybrid. Okay? It'll be a lot. There's going to be a lot of cars. Now, here's what's happening, people. As cars get older, everybody out there should have one fundamental understanding when you purchase a big ticket item. Cars are not made to last forever. That would be the stupidest shit to do. You can build a space shuttle that can fly out of the atmosphere and re-land and go back out to the atmosphere and re-land and go back out to the atmosphere and re-land over and over and over again. But we can't get a car to last over 10 years, right? Cars are built to die. That's how they keep going, right? That's how these car companies keep making so much money. You don't want to build a car too good. Right? Great, Alex. 12 years. Perfect. Thank you so much. You don't want to build a car too good because then you're going to kill your own business, right? It's a horrible business model to build something that lasts forever. It's a perfect business model if you've got something that's got a short shelf life. So within the next 10 years, you're going to see all of those cars that are older than 10 years all start dying off. And all those older cars, as they start to die off, they had lower gas mileage. So all the newer cars coming out have higher gas mileage and or are gonna in the next 15 to 20 years be all hybrid and electric. So the amount of fuel that's needed, the amount of oil that's needed to produce the fuel is going to drop to literally nothing. So this is what's going to happen. It's not that the price of oil is going to crash down to zero. That's not going to happen. The price of oil is always going to remain where it's at. It's going to be $40 to $80 a barrel, maybe $100 a barrel. The issue is the United States just knows right now that in 30 years, Saudi Arabia knows. Do those guys know the end is coming, right? Saudi Arabia, the logo for the country, right? The logo for the country of Saudi Arabia right now should be called "The End is Nigh," right? That should be on their flag. The end is nigh, right? Because the end is coming for Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, within 30 to 50 years, Saudi Arabia is absolutely fucked. They are fucked. And they know it. And that's why they're pumping all their money into building these cities of the future. They're building all these, they're trying to convert themselves into banking communities, into investments. They're investing all over the world because they know that the end is near for them, because all that billions and billions of dollars that they're sitting on top of, that's underneath them, and that crude oil is all going to be worthless. It's all going to be worthless, right? And instead of needing 1 million barrels of oil produced a day for the world, you're going to need 100,000 barrels of oil produced, right? And that $100,000 a barrel will still be $40 to $80 a barrel, because that's just what it costs to pump oil out of the ground. It's just there's not going to be as much consumerism that's going to be needed to sustain those high volumes. So what America is doing, one of the most genius freaking things we're doing right now, is we are literally pulling out trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of oil out from underneath the American soil, and we're just getting rid of it as quickly as we can, because we know it's all going to be worthless. And that's what's happening. And I know a lot of environmentalists are not happy about that, but it's just a sound business decision, right? That's what it is. And you know what? It's not going to matter. In 30 years, all the oil is going to be pumped up and it's all going to be gone, and no one's going to need it anymore. You're still going to need it for plastics and propylene and making and manufacturing products. I mean, you're always going to need oil. You're just not going to need it on the scale that we need it today. So with that being said, one of the things that's happening right now with the US dollar and the US economy, and why we're so strong, is because we're kind of draining out a huge portion of money that goes out every year to the world economy, because we're so dependent on oil. Now we're not dependent on oil. You take trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars off the market, right? Yeah, donkey. Yeah. Now I'll tell you what, Chone is the one who's going to be self-sufficiently supporting the lubrication industry in the world. You're right. So, but our issue right now is the rest of the world is dragging down the world economy. It's not America. It's not America. And what we're seeing is we have this debt crisis that we've all been talking about for years that's just never come to fruition. But you see all of these larger economies all over the world literally on the edge of breaking down. And what is going to happen is they have to break down. They have to change the way they do business. The problem is governments don't understand how to do business, right? You can't run a country on your feelings. And too many times we are running our country. All these countries are being run on feelings. You can't worry about hurting someone's feelings, because if you can't fucking feed the people, you fucking morons, nobody is gonna care how your feelings are. All I gotta say is go to Venezuela right now, where people are digging through trash to eat, right? Greece, Venezuela. I mean, dude, I'm telling you guys, the issue is that socialism is better than communism, but it's not as good as capitalism, right? Socialism is a I love you, you love me economy based that still kind of works in small microeconomies. Communism is a complete failure because it did not take into account of the human psyche. The human psyche needs to, I want to have a nice car, and I want to work hard and have nice things, and I want to date a woman who's half my age, and I want this, and I want to go on trips. And some people just want to lay on the goddamn couch and be a couch potato and watch Game of Thrones 400 times, right? That's the fact, right? And then capitalism is where if you want to go out and you want to work hard and you want to get some shit, you can, right? The issue that we have right now is too much of the world is socialist. That's right, Skater. I want a unicorn. We all want unicorns. But unicorns do not go for the guy that lives in the box behind 7-Eleven. Okay? I'm throwing this out there. The odds are if you're broke and you live in a cardboard box behind 7-Eleven and you're begging for food, you are definitely not going to be able to afford a unicorn, okay? The majority of the world economies that are failing right now are socialist economies. They're all tanking. And the reason why they're tanking is because you can't continually support inflation with a socialist economy with a growing population. And one of the challenges that we see is we're coming to that tipping point where these bigger countries can no longer afford socialism, right? Which Greece completely found out, which Italy totally found out, which France completely knows about, and they all know about this. The only country that's works right now is Germany. Well, you got Sweden, you got Denmark, you've got these smaller, but look, dude, there's literally like 7 people in Sweden. There's like 7 freaking people in all of Sweden, okay? That's like, you can't compare those. They're tiny. I mean, we have states. Our smallest states in the United States are literally the size of Sweden, right? You can't compare these teeny tiny microeconomies to these macroeconomies, right? Socialism, yes, works on a smaller scale as long as everybody's working hard and contributing. But you go to the larger scale like Brazil. Brazil is absolutely poverty stricken. Brazil is completely poverty stricken. And one of the issues you have with France, with Brazil, with Italy, is these social welfare packages that you're promising these people if they work their butt off for 40 years that you're going to take care of them. Well, that's just not coming true, and that's why you see the riots, and that's why you see the world governments all turning to going to right wing. They're going to more conservative values because this socialist values of just handing everything out to free to everybody. Why work when you don't have to, when you can get the same amount if with working, right? Yeah, Sweden's population is half of that of Florida. So, but that's our issue right now is we are going to see in the next few years the demise of socialism. The demise of socialism is coming to an end because socialism is not a economically viable plan, right? India, let's look at India. All right, let's talk about India. There's a difference in India. India is a macro economy that runs on they're a high consumer country. So the people in India understand the fundamentals that the rest of the world, there's only 2 economies really in the entire world that understand this one word. And listen closely here, people. Are you ready? This is one of the most you have to go look this up in the dictionary. This word I'm going to throw out here for you, okay? Let's talk about the only 2 economies that understand this word, all right? And this is a very, like you say this word, oh yeah, I do it all the time, right? China and India are the only people that actually use this word. And the Jews are a little different. We'll talk about the Jews. They're a little bit different. But China and India are the only people in the world that use the S word. And they take that S word to the grave with them. Are you ready for this word? Saving. They actually save. They're the only 2 cultures in the world that save. They save money. They do. They're the only ones in the entire world that save. They save money. The Americans, God, do you guys think Americans save money? Right now, we are starting to save money more than ever, right? We're completely starting to save money here. But no one saves money as much money as Indians and Chinese. Those guys sock that money. That's right. For their children and their grandchildren. They don't even think about themselves. They think about the future of the family, right? They're the only ones that do it. Everybody else just throws their money, just pisses their money away, right? And I swear to God, if somebody says the Arabs, no way, dude. Arabs are the biggest spenders in the whole wide world. Dude, those guys are beasts. I love Persians. I love Persian people. Those guys spend like it's going out of money, out of style. Dude, they spend money like it's falling off trees. Those are my favorite people in the world. I love Persians. Dude, those guys are crazy. Have you seen the cars they buy? I mean, who can afford to have 10 Russian hookers live in their home in, the south of France, right? I mean, it's those guys are amazing. Indians and Chinese are the only ones. Nobody else saves, right? The challenge with that as we go forward and how that affects the world economy, and more importantly, how that affects cryptocurrency, right? Is there will be a hedge. There will have to be a hedge. Where is your hedge going to be when these economies start to pull back? You have to ask yourself that. Qatar just has so much money. They have no people. They have no people. Where are you going to put your money when the economies start to really turn down? And that's going to happen in the next couple of years. We're going to have a big economic pullback, right? We've all been expecting it. You've got two choices, right? Either the dollars that you're holding on to are going to get completely wiped out. They're going to get completely wiped out and devalued because you're going to have deflationary, you're going to have a massive deflationary impact because of debt. And or everything's going to go to a gold exchange, and or people are going to hide in assets like cryptocurrency. And I'm not saying that cryptocurrency has to be worth $60,000 or $20,000 or $40,000. But if it does hold up better than than other assets, cryptocurrency will be a good place to hide your money because they're just going to run out of freaking gold. Right? There's just not enough gold. I mean, people are just going to start buying gold, and I feel what's going to happen is you're going to see gold go up, right? You're going to see gold go up here, and it's going to continue to rise. And if you don't believe me, right? Peak, what is it again? Give me gold one more time. It's what's gold? What's gold again? I have the gold index pulled up on another one. Peak, what's gold? X USD. Which one? This one? This one. Top one? All right. Is it the top one? Which one is it? I think that's it. Yep, top one. So gold, look at gold. Take a look at gold. Here was the recession. Gold prices rocketed higher, right? Look at gold right now. Gold is going down. US dollar is going up. Okay, let's take off all these other indicators. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up the euro, the pound, Aussie dollar, Japanese, right? We just have gold. Here's gold. This is gold right here. So we're going to go to a line. Then we're going to make gold nice and big and fat. Actually, we're going to make it here, and we're going to change the color to gold to pink. Look at gold, people. Gold is the only thing besides the US dollar going up, right? There it is. There's gold. Gold is going up. US dollar's going up. Gold is going up. All the rest of the world economies are going down right now. And if you go back to 2007, remember we talked about that? There's 2007. Look at the US dollar. US dollar was absolutely in the tank, and gold just flew through the roof. Right? Look at all this accumulation of gold all the way through there. Then people started dumping gold because the economy got nice and good right here. Things were looking good. Oh, this is great. The economy stabilized. And then sure enough, here you go. The economy is starting to tank again, the world economy. And I expect gold to continue to rise. I expect gold to continue to move up in value with the US dollar. I expect both of these to continue rising. I think gold will continue to rise as we move into a deeper economic recession. Okay? So that's it. I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say. Sorry I took everybody's time up. A lot of time on things that really didn't pertain to Bitcoin, right? We use gold as a store of value. You're right. We don't use it for a lot of things, but it's only a store of value. People still use it for a store of value. All right? So, we use platinum. That's right. Yeah, I did not. I did record it. I recorded the whole thing. So I will dump this down. I did. I'll dump it down. It is going to be a super long video. I wouldn't want to say thank you. I've got 250 people watching out there. I want to say a very special thank you for all of you taking your time on this holiday season. I wish each and every one of you the best, right? I want to say thank you to everybody out there. All I'm going to ask is if you could do me a quick favor, go to Twitter, go to Facebook. It really helps me out. It helps to grow the channel. Let's see where we're at. Can we break 10,000 subscribers? Right? I would love to break 10,000 subscribers. I look out there, I see other channels not giving anywhere near the content or the attention to detail that we're throwing out there. Please go out there, hit the subscribe, hit the share. If you get a chance, always appreciated it. If you come over, just throw me at Chart Vampire, right? Best live stream in crypto. Right? Something modest like this, something easy, something that would make my wife proud of me, especially since I've got the whole family here in town right now. The wife is probably going to throw me off the balcony, especially I have been doing my best to keep the wife happy. I got a house full of family. I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you. I am the Vamp. We are from Until 1 Mil. Peak in the house. Part of the Vamp team. Thank you so much, brother, for being here. Peak is actually on vacation in Florida right now with all his crypto money, spending some of his crypto money, his hard-earned crypto money. He's done a great job making money for us, great job making money for himself. Thank each and every one of you. I am the Vamp. We are from Until 1 Mil, and I am out.